All right, guys, today in front of me from Heaven Hill, we have the Parker's Heritage Double Barrel Blend. Now, this comes in at 132.2 proof. This is a blend of 13 and 15-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys. So it's a 67% of a 13-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey that was double barreled, and then 33% of a 15-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. The mash bill on this, however, is undisclosed. Definitely excited to get into this one, guys. So without further ado, let's go. Alright guys, so as I stated, this one comes in at 132.2 proof. Mash bill is undisclosed. However, it is a blend of 13 and 15-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys, one of which, the 13-year, was double barreled. One of the really cool things about this, before I get into the review, is for every bottle sold, some of the proceeds go and help support ALS, which is absolutely fantastic. So, with that said, guys, let's get in the nose. So the first thing that I get is burnt brown sugar and a little bit of maple syrup further into the glass. Further away from the glass, I do get a little bit of that maple syrup, not necessarily as much of that burnt brown sugar further away, but some of that maple syrup kind of lingers outside the glass. And then further into the glass, there's a lot of candied sweetness to it as well. So it's like candied sweetness. There's some, again, some of that like maple syrup, some burnt brown sugar, and then there's also some kind of dark cherry that appears there further into the glass as well. It's got a really, really nice nose to it. It's nice and, nice oily legs on this one. Let's get into it, guys. Cheers. That is every bit of 132 proof. She kicks hard. Woo! But that is absolutely delicious. That's a kick-ass whiskey right there. That's the boys that go and kick down the doors, right? That's spicy. But man, you talk about, again, something that kind of saturates the palate and just really kind of just lights it up there. Again, the mash bill's undisclosed, but there's got to be a decent amount of rye to that, because there's definitely some of those rye spices going on there. I know there's a lot of proof, but there's got to be some spices going on there as well. Again, that there's that dark cherry note that there's a lot of sweetness up at the front of the palate, but then there's like a standout kind of dark cherry note that's on the middle to back of the palate that I absolutely love. Long finish on this one. Let's get a second sip. So on the front of the palate, it's like vanilla extract meets allspice, and it's just the mingling and the marriage of the two. Middle of the palate, that dark, like middle of the back of the palate, that dark cherry is just all over the palate. And then there's like a slight hint of like some honey in there as well that kind of mingles around with that. But it's definitely some dark, very dark cherry forward on the palate. And it kind of just saturates the palate. It just sticks. There was still a little bit of spiciness there that kind of that went across the palate, but not like that. Not like the first sip. It kind of died down after that. But definitely feel like there's a decent amount of rye, and one of them's got to be a high rye. But man, this is a great whiskey. Let's get the last sip, guys. Cheers. Yeah. So again, on the front, it's like vanilla extract meets allspice, the marriage between the two. Middle to back of the palate is it's this dark cherry, a little bit of some dark honey in there. And then onto the finish, now that the spiciness has kind of died down, it's like a burnt like cinnamon. There's like a burnt cinnamon and like a spicy pepper, like a cooking pepper that kind of appears there through the finish. Like right after that kind of dark cherry goes away. It's like a spicy baking pepper and then burnt cinnamon through the finish, and it's a long finish. That's an ass-kicking whiskey right there. That's what it is. That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic whiskey. Yeah, I mean, this is almost everything that I want in a whiskey is what's in this glass right here. Those good, nice, dark fruit flavors. I love dark fruit flavors in a whiskey. I love the spiciness and like I love how this whiskey is bold as well. It's big, it's bold, it's spicy. The flavors are just right in your face. I mean, they are just big, bold, coming right at you. And then the finish, it's a long finish. And it's hard to find stuff that has a really long finish these days. And I tell you, this is a spectacular whiskey. I love the finish. I love the big, bold, spicy flavors on this one. Savory flavors. That dark cherry is just absolutely fantastic. Again, hell of a job here out of Heaven Hill. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. I want to send a big thank you over to my buddy Todd D for supplying me with this bottle here to review on the channel. Guys, killer whiskey. Absolutely killer whiskey. This is everything that I want in a whiskey right here. Everything. It's got the proof, it's got the spice bite, it's got the dark fruit, it's got the long finish, it's got all those flavors that saturate the palate. That is everything that I want in a whiskey. This is something I could truly sit back and enjoy. This is something I could set on a shelf for the next 5 years and slowly sip on it. I mean, it's that good. It really is. It is that good. I love this whiskey. Absolutely fantastic. Everything I want in a whiskey. Again, Heaven Hill's got it going on. That's all I'll say. Heaven Hill has got it going on. Again, big shout out to my buddy Todd D for supplying me with this bottle here to review on the channel. Guys, if you're looking for more reviews like this, hit that subscribe button, bell notification to be alerted of any upcoming reviews or live streams. You also find me on Instagram at Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. Until next time, guys, stay dusty.